Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel and a very special welcome to Pisces, my oceans of emotions, because this is your ultimate overview to everything you need to know. Well, not quite everything, but the main headlines to navigate the oceans of emotions of 2024. Now that's whether your sun is in Pisces, your rising sign, also known as the ascendant, or also your moon sign. So with no ado, shall we start? Because, oceans of emotions, it's an interesting thought, because if you've not yet seen my general overview to 2024, I highly recommend it. It's on my channel, because I liken the beginning of 2024 and how it kind of unfolds, not because we've got a lot of water energy, but because it's a bit like Cape Horn, where you've got two mighty oceans meeting, the Atlantic on one side and the Pacific on the other, and there is no land behind either of them. We never really think much about how our oceans work on our planet. And in the same way, we don't often think about how our oceans of emotions work for us. So what I'm trying to say is that the whole year, we need to have that flexibility that you have as a Pisces, that mutability to go with the flow of the way the energies and the currents seem to be taking you. Let's start at the beginning, because what I've done is I've just picked out certain highlights, not from every month, because we'd be here all day, but just certain highlights that I think are super important to be aware of now. So let's start. First of all, let's just start with getting Mercury retrograde out the way, because Mercury, our planet of communication, we start the year January the 1st, Mercury is retrograde. It's been retrograde since the 13th of December 2023 in Capricorn, all over the Christmas and New Year period. So you might have found things got cancelled, things got changed, rearranged, people were sick, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. And the good news, and I actually do think this is good news, because this is going to kind of set the tone for 2024, because by the 2nd of January, it goes direct. Now, it was retrograde in Capricorn, that's your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So it's been slowing down some of the projects that you've obviously had in mind to launch. And it went back into Sagittarius, which is your 10th house of career, passion, whatever it is that you're really, passionate about, whether you're retired, working, stay-at-home parent, caregiver, anything like that. There must be something other than your daily routine that is important to you. And that's what the 10th house, for me, represents. So it does, of course, go direct on the 2nd. So that is good news. And that means that if there have been projects to do with your career, if you're working, things will speed up now very quickly. Not right away. You've got to wait until Mercury comes out of its shadow round about the middle of January. Now, there are, of course, other things happening in January, but I want to talk about the main event. And the main event for January is about my big outer boy, small dwarf planet, Pluto, our planet of transformation, of personal empowerment, of endings, beginnings. Pluto really is the alchemist, the person that can turn base metal into gold. And you are going to have this wonderful energy in your 12th house. And this is because your 12th house is the sign of Aquarius. And it moves in there to have a look round, because it is going to pop back into Capricorn, your 11th house, for a while before it fully moves into your 12th house at the end of the year. But on January the 21st, Pluto starts to check out your 12th house. Now remember, this is about the inner you, Pisces. This is about where you can feel depressed or trapped, or, you don't like the kind of confines of the 12th house energy, because even though it's traditionally a Pisces house, it's still a bit restrictive for you, for your energy. And sometimes you can get lost in your oceans of emotions in this part of your chart. Now, Pluto moving into Aquarius, this is going to, well, of all the signs, this is going to, if you're not already awakened on an inner spiritual level, by God, by the end of the year, you will be firing on all cylinders in terms of your ability to connect with higher frequencies, to channel light energies and light beings, to really embrace this level of higher consciousness that the cosmos has been urging us all towards for many, many years. And the day that Pluto moves into Aquarius is the 21st of January, and the Sun moves in on the same day. So it's conjunct Pluto, which is really rather lovely, because it's like a nice omen. It's shedding its light. It's warming up your heart, because remember, the Sun is our beating heart. It's the beating heart of our solar system. It's the seat of our soul. And this energy is heralding the entry of Pluto into your 12th house, Aquarius. So you have to take that in a bit. It's big stuff, Pisces. So then after January, we have February and we have March. And there are some interesting energies, but I don't particularly want to pick up on them in this particular interpretation of 2024. I really am keeping this tight and to the key absolute headlines, because some of these other months have what I would call sub-headlines. So let's move ahead to April, because April is a big month. And this, of course, is the season where we have, Aries, we have the start of the sort of going round the Zodiac again. We feel that energy of new birth, new growth, new things. Now, Mercury, our planet of communication, who I'm talking a lot about today, because it is helpful to know its forward motions and its retrograde motions. You can make a note in your calendar, and then you're kind of prepared that things might go astray. You might forget to click send, all those kind of things. Well, Mercury goes retrograde in Aries on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. And this, of course, is your second house of finance. So this might see you having to balance the books. This might see you having to get the help of a friendly accountant or financial advisor to address maybe some of your financial kind of issues that have got a bit lost whilst you've got lost in your heady higher consciousness, emotions of oceans of emotions, whilst Aquarius gets stimulated by Pluto in your 12th house. Well, that was a bit of a mouthful. Anyway, Mercury is retrograde. And let's just look at what else is happening in April, because on the 8th of April, we have a solar eclipse, again in Aries, in your second house. Now, this is super important. Remember, the second house is about finance. It's about how you value yourself as well, how you make your money, the best way for you to make your money. Now, this is a new moon and it's a total solar eclipse. So there is something being held back or something being kept back. Now, remember, it brings in the energy of the 8th house, which is opposite. And the 8th house is about other people's money and pensions and investments and that nature of things. It's a new moon, though. You may be thinking of taking some investment risks, which I would advise you to be a little bit cautious with whilst this energy is around, because even though it's a new moon, it may not be the best time. You really need to read the energies of what's going on in the kind of world in general, on the world stage, and also in the world economy before you start making any big outlays of finance. Because by the 20th of April, we have another incredibly important conjunction. And this is in your 3rd house, Taurus, the part of your chart that is to do with communication. Pisces, how many of you out there are writing a book or blogs? Because this conjunction between two of my big outer boys, Jupiter, our planet of luck and opportunity and expansion, conjunct Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, of shocks. You know, this could be something very beneficial comes along to do with something you have written. And maybe it's about being offered a publishing contract. But also, I want you to think, Pisces, about the spiritual elements of this, because Jupiter is a highly spiritual planet. It rules Sagittarius, which is, interestingly, a highly spiritual sign. Uranus rules Aquarius. And of course, that's where Pluto is currently. Uranus is the planet of invention and also uncertainty. I just feel you need to be super careful and not get, it's a little bit like some of you will almost be coming across bipolar and thinking you've got all the money in the world that you can spend on something important that means a lot to you. I'm really asking you, Pisces, to be mindful of that, because it'll come back and it will bite you in your proverbial fishtail, because we don't know yet what will be happening in the world in general. So until we get a clearer vision, and I'm doing the monthlies, then we'll have a clearer vision of whether this is something that you can be given the green light with, or whether you need to wait a few months. Now, the other important news is the 25th of May, when Jupiter, our lovely planet of expansion, luck and opportunity, actually moves into your 4th house, Gemini. And of course, the 4th house is home, family. This is going to be really super helpful for you. I can see a lot of communications going on around your home, around changes that you might want to make. You might want to move to a bigger place. There may be good news with family members. There may be a pregnancy or something like that coming along. So, you know, as a couple, you have to make room for a nursery. There could be all sorts of things like that because, oh gosh, yes. And Gemini is the sign of the twins. I'm just saying. So if any of you out there are thinking of having babies, then that could be a sign of twins. Well, that will be interesting. So then we move into June and July, and we have the summer solstice, of course, in June. And there are some aspects, but I'm not going to mention them because they're really not relevant at the moment. And let's face it, to be honest, do any of us really remember? And that's why I've given you these key dates, because I do think it's important to just kind of make a note of the most important things so we can be aware to listen to the information nearer the time, when myself and other astrologers go into these energies in a much more kind of complex and deep way, so that it just makes more sense for you. But at this point, I just want to plop in a quick advert, because I just want to say that if you would like to have a one-to-one session with me where we look at your natal chart and where we also look at the transits ahead for you, that this would be a super good time to do it, to make sense of your chart. My fees are going to go up probably in February. So if you book by the end of January, you'll be on the old fees. They're not going up a lot. It's just to cover natural kind of expenses and inflation. So I do try and keep my fees reasonable so that they are available for everyone. But you know, I'm a bit of a dinosaur and I do things in the old-fashioned way. And you have to go to my website, pennydix.com, write me an email on penny@pennydix.com. We will have a little chat. We will discuss which time zones we're all in. I'm in Central European time, which means, just to give you an idea, I'm 7 hours ahead of New York City. That might help you get a sense. And I basically have 2 times. I have 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that usually suits anyone in the morning in America, including West Coast Pacific, because it can be like your 7 a.m. I know that's early, but the alternative is 11 o'clock the night before and my 8 a.m. So there we go. And then you pay by PayPal. I send you a request. You don't need an account. You pay as a guest, and we do it on Skype. And Skype is simple, cheap, because I don't have to pay for it. Oh yes, it's wonderful. It still doesn't have a fee. And you get to record your session, of course, to save and download and keep. End of advert. Back to your chart. We're in July now, and there is one important date that you do have to be mindful of in July, and it's the 15th and the days around it, because on the 15th we have a big conjunction in Taurus. This is your 3rd house of communication. It's between Mars our planet of energy, action, assertion, aggression, arguments, war, conjunct my big outer boy Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, the planet of freedom of speech, the planet of rebellion. That energy on that day for all of us, wherever we are in the world and whatever sign we're under, it's almost like a duvet day or a stay at home under the quilt day. Stay in bed and watch Netflix if you can. It's just that the energy is really, really tense. And because it's in your third house, you may say things you regret. You may jump to the conclusion that you needn't have jumped to. So remember to respond and not react. So it could be you losing your temper or another with you. We don't need any of that. We need calm, peaceful oceans of emotions, of calm behavior. Let's move on through July and August. August is hot. It's hot here. There won't be much going on. I can't remember what's going on astrologically, but I will talk about that when we get there. There is clearly, unless I've completely mixed up and muddled up all my 2024 videos, and there'll be someone out there that will tell me, you missed out the most important thing in August. And well, you know, hey, we're human. I'm human. I get things wrong, but I don't know because it's not on my current script. But in September, Pluto will move back into Capricorn, and this will be your 11th house of hopes and wishes. And so remember, that's to kind of go and give you the go ahead, the green light with anything that you've been, not quite sure. Should I launch it? Should I do it now? Should I just wait a bit? I don't know what to do. So Pluto will be helping you there because Pluto will be back in Capricorn until the 19th of November. So let's just come back to Pluto in Capricorn because there's a very important full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, Pisces, on the 17th of September. So this is about you. Now remember, full moons are about endings. So I'm going to be a bit serious here. What do you need to let go of in your life? This will be something about you. It's not necessarily a person or a thing. It could be a behavior. It could be a habit. It could be a way of thinking. It could be that this lunar eclipse is asking you to make some serious changes with you. It could be all sorts of things, couldn't it, Pisces? You know, do we list them? Lose weight, gain weight, do more exercise, go swimming. You're a fish, you're Pisces. You know, there'll be something in your life that is about you that you really need to address. And this lunar eclipse is giving you the opportunity to do that. Eclipses come in pairs. So by the 2nd of October, we have a solar eclipse in Libra, which of course is all about harmony and balance. And that's in your 8th house of shared resources and other people's money. It's a new moon solar eclipse. So there may be positive news coming in about investments or pensions or joint funds. You may be investing in something. Because it's an eclipse, it's more than likely that there are delays. And take those delays as timely. Take them as course directions from the universe. You know, when we come up against lots of closed doors, but there's one open that we really have got really no desire to go through. You know, sometimes that's the best door of all. And sometimes we let a really great opportunity pass us by. Pisces, you are open to all of these things. I know you are. I know a lot of Pisces. And you have superbly well developed higher consciousness, elements and frequencies. So use it wisely. Now, by the 11th of October, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn in your 11th house. This is your final chance to get projects off the ground that you've been delaying. You really need now to get a move on with them. And once it has moved direct, it then goes into, finally, Aquarius, your 12th house, on the 19th of November. I mean, there are going to be so many videos on YouTube from me, from other astrologers, from energy and light workers talking about this amazing energy. And you're going to have Pluto transforming you on an inner level, your spiritual side, your psychological side, for 20 years. How super cool is that? I think you're very lucky, Pisces. I really do. I think to be here now on this planet at the time that Pluto goes into Aquarius, which is about the whole of human consciousness, waking up, rising up. It's about how we are all going to be so much better at trusting our intuition, our gut feelings. We're all going to be seeing spirit and thinking, good God, did I just see Granny walk through the living room? All of these things are going to start happening, not just for you, Pisces, because a lot of you, it already does. But this will be for the whole planet are going to wake up that there are these energies so close to us, these frequencies. It's so easy, just a little subtle shift and we're there. So just take a bit of time to kind of absorb that, Pisces, because it is big energy. And then we need to look at the next Mercury retrograde, because it's retrograde on the 26th of November, but in your 10th house, Sagittarius, which is all about your career or your passion in life. If you're retired, it's whatever rocks your soul. Whatever that is, whether it's, I don't know, breeding rabbits, having aquariums, you must have an aquarium with fish. You must have, you know, that would be such a good thing for a Pisces to have, an aquarium full of fish. So anyway, Mercury goes retrograde in Sagittarius in your 10th house on the 26th of November. Now, what this means is because by the 15th of December, it goes direct in your 10th house on the 15th, that the Christmas and New Year period of next year, 2024, should be a lot easier than what we may be about to go through in 2023, because we've got very similar energy, except Mercury, if you're watching this still in 2023, Mercury is going to be retrograde throughout Christmas and New Year. So it's interesting that the following year, 2024, plain sailing. It'll be easy. It'll be a great time to have fun and enjoy it with family and friends. And all those unseen friends in all those other dimensions and kind of frames and timelines and frequencies. Oh, God, it's going to be so super exciting. Right, okay, there is another retrograde. Mars, our planet of energy and action, assertion, aggression, in the sign of Leo, a fire sign, in your 6th house of day-to-day routine, goes retrograde on the 6th of December. I suspect, Pisces, you've been overdoing it a bit, working too hard. Whether you work or you don't work, whatever it is you do, whatever rocks your soul, if you're retired, if you're a stay-at-home caring person for a child or an elderly relative, whatever your kind of life is like, you are being asked to slow down by the universe. Otherwise, you're going to make yourself quite ill. That is what I feel Mars retrograde in Leo is for you. And that's from the 6th of December. And it doesn't go direct until the 24th of February, 2024. Sorry, 2025. Getting all my years muddled up. And that will be in Cancer in your 5th house, because it will retrograde into your 5th house of fun. So that might be a little bit easier. You might be feeling better by then. But I will talk more about that when we get to the end of 2024. Let's get there first, because this really is going to be an extraordinary year. I really do believe that. I think for the world stage, the planet in general, I think there are going to be enormous changes. And let's hope they are for the good. What we have to do is do a lot of meditative intention experiments. And I'm going to forget her name. There is the lovely lady that wrote the book called The Intention Experiment. Gosh, if you know, drop it in the chat. She also wrote, oh God, you see, I've completely forgotten, having a senior moment, but she is super cool. And after I've finished, I will remember, I'll make sure it goes in the description box because I want to credit her. Because intention experiments work. And we all as a collective, and you especially as Pisces, need to focus on sending out that light energy, that healing energy, love. We keep forgetting about love. And that is really where we need to bring your reading to a close, I think, because it's going to be an awesome year. Let's put it that way, Pisces. So Pisces, my oceans of emotions, thank you so much for your attention. And if you've made it to this point, well done. Thank you. I really appreciate. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And especially if you're new to my channel, I really love it if you subscribe. I also just want to remind you that on my website, we do have the beginner's guide to reading your natal chart available to buy. And I am going to be doing some add-ons to that to just beef it up a bit. And that will come soon. And also there is the lovely calendar done by Andrea Britton. All the moon phases, all the full moons, all the new moons. It's not expensive. You can download that from my website, pennydix.com as well. So on that note, my oceans of emotions, I really wish you an absolutely blessed and peaceful 2024. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.